Good afternoon. Hope everyone's doing well. Oh, you know what? Let me check one more thing. Hold on one sec. There we go. Got it all up. All right. We got 1.21.1 stable. Let's see how it goes. I think I got everything done for the magic mod. I'm just gonna cycle through the mods and then end up on the... Yeah, this is something that happens with 1.21. Apparently there's an arrow, an obsidian arrow, that isn't fully in the game. I guess. I mean, maybe it's a primitive survival thing, maybe. It's suspicious. So far it seems like things are working. Let me get rid of everyone else's mods here. Hey Vexus, how's it going? I had a day. It's been a long day. That's better. We're gonna quit. Make sure everything's built. Pretty good, you. It was pretty good. There was some networking issues I had to address today. It's always fun. But you know what? I like a good challenge too. It's, you know, so, you know, being under pressure. So it was a day. I'm at like maybe 40-50% capacity right now, so we will see how the rest of the day goes. Hope your day is going well. Hope today was smooth. I hope the wyverns are working. I hope so. Oh wait, did that same error happen? Could have been. Hopefully it was something with mod. Okay, so that looks a lot better. So maybe like Primitive Survival or another game or another mod adds obsidian arrows. So that looks like it's loading smooth. Let's test out... someone reported that torches... Right, you place a torch. Let's place a torch in a dark place. Right, so you place a torch down. It should burn out. There we go. So someone says when you cast transmutation, let me reload here, but when you cast transmutation, it doesn't light back up. Like there's no true light. It's been pretty good. Yup, we're playing right now. Sweet. Armon, hey, does look like obsidian arrows are in the patch notes for 1.21. I can't make heads or tails of it then. Maybe one of the other mods does something for it. Oh, okay. So it looks like it relit briefly. What happens if I reload here? So it looks like it started to relight. Maybe it tried to relight on the client. Interesting. Oh, then you have to reload. So nothing is being sent to the client then, right? Like this is something that it may relight on the server, but the client's not getting the update. Let's put another one down here. We're gonna run out the time, and now we're gonna look at transmutation. So this is going to be torch. Here it is. You know what? It probably needs to call this both client and server side. You know what? Probably this needs to... Okay, I think I know what I'm gonna do. Oops. Well, where's the torch again? Was it... Oh, that's not it. So it's this. We're gonna get new position. So I'm gonna mark it as dirty. Let's see if that works. All right. Transmutation. Nope. Well, I mean, that is better. Before, the color palette was kind of dim and washed out. So, no light. Let me reload here. So we're getting closer, at least. The torch is understanding that the mesh, you probably had to update to have it be quote-unquote lit again. So we're getting closer. See, so there is light. Okay. Burn it out again. There we go. Let's kind of tour around block accessor here. Let's see if there's anything that would specifically do anything with light. So that's getting a light level. There's a remove light. So, I got something cheeky that I can do here. I think what I could do is, I could create a new block, right? Like an instance of the torch. And then I can get that light value, and then I can manually assign that light value back to this block. Alright, so let's do something like... Is this only a get? Can I write to this? Come on. So this is one. So 3 bytes, hue saturation and brightness. You know, there's probably an easier way. Instead of doing that, I should probably first look for something that would, like, relight. Maybe the chunk. Maybe it's going to be in chunk. Let's go for that first. World. Maybe chunk provider. So get chunk, right? And then I can put in new position. Unless it's specifically, oh, it's going to want just an XYZ. Unless I could do 2. I can't just have it go to a block position. Oh, it already is a block position. So I could do this. We'll do X, Y, Z. Alright, what do you got for a lighting? That's very promising. Light positions. Now, is there anything that, like, marks it dirty? Live mod data. Interesting. Oh. Mark modified. Mark fresh. Prevents the chunk from getting compressed. Yeah, we don't want to do that. Maybe it would be mark modified. Saves it on the disk. On the client, not too much happens. Yeah, then it's not what I want. Oh, that's pretty cool. I could remove entities from a chunk position. I gotta keep that in my back pocket. Not seeing anything, though. Let's see if maybe I can burrow into lighting. So I can clear the lighting here, set lighting. I could statically set a block light. That's pretty cool too. Again, that's not really what I want. So maybe it's not chunk provider, right? Maybe it's not. Let's look for block block light levels. Okay, no, that's just an array. That's nothing I want. What about get caching block accessor? Oh, look at that. We got a relight function right there. Same as the normal block accessor, but remembers the previous chunk that was accessed. Gives you 10-15% boost in performance. Okay, don't forget, call begin before getting setting and tight loop. Not calling it could cause the game to crash. You know what? We're not doing that. we're not gonna do that. But I do have block access. Is there another version of walking the blocks here? Is there one that includes like a relight kind of functionality? Alright, so get light level. Get the RGB value. What's down here? So I can remove. This is called on block broken. When your block entity modifies the light range. Well, I don't want to remove the light. I want to redraw it. Huh. All right. Well, screw that. Okay, so in here, let's take a look at block access. Map chunk. Yeah, I'm not sure why it's not the, you know what? Hold on. I could do this. Let me call this stuff. Let me get rid of this. Let me call this on both the client and the server. We're gonna reload. Because that may be what I have to do to anything that's light, or anything considered light. Okay, give it a try. Nope. That's wrong. This is a good one. This is a good one. I'm going to try something cheeky. I'm gonna do... We're gonna go back to light levels, right? Or in the block. Right. So I can get what the light level's supposed to be, which is that guy right there. Crap, I'm trying to think where the, was it chunk provider? I could just undo, right? One of these I found assigning the light directly. Come on. World block light levels. Okay, that seems... Block light levels? Was it? No, okay, it wasn't that. Okay. Chunk provider, get chunk. Okay, so it's probably this. Lighting dot... Right, so that was getting the sunlight. Set block light. it's not the same format that I would expect. Right, because I want something that's going to take the HSV. And this is looking for index stuff. Alright, that's I guess that's not what I want either. Is there anything else? Only to be implemented client-side. Finish light double buffering. What the heck is that? Unpack and read light. Light absorption. I'm curious. We're gonna complete it here, and I'm just gonna look to see what is this. There's like no information with it at all. Only to be implemented client-side. Thanks, game. Thanks. Alright. We're gonna kind of undo all of this. Right, world block accessor. Yeah, that's just like remove. I could remove the light. This is called on block broken. I'm gonna have to play with this one. This is a pretty good problem. I like a good challenge. Wait, trigger neighbor update. Oh, that could be something that we may be able to tag into to relight. Right, because if I trigger a neighbor update, although I may have to modify this a little bit because it may trigger an update for everything else around and not the center block. I may have to like go up one and then trigger a neighbor update to hit the block that I want to hit. But we'll give it a try. Been living in darkness. Nope. So it's back to doing that. There we go. So what if I do position, add copy, and then I can do 0, 1, 0, right? That way, technically, the position's going to be right above it, and then if it triggers a neighbor update, that would be a neighbor, right? Trying to be cheeky with this. Damn it! Well, that's a good thing, because now I'm not marking that chunk dirty. We still got the same kind of thing. I could look at the code to see like when the block is placed. Let's look at like block torch, right? So unloaded, unheld, on interact start. I think that's just like starting fires. On attacking with. Oh, I like that. You can ignite entities. I like that. Interaction help. Okay, on block placed, right? If this is lit, replace with burnt out. What the hell is this? Okay. So, block access or get block. So you're just looking to see if it's liquid. Coding with variant. And then it's setting the block. This is literally like what I'm doing. I'm actually setting the block in here. Literally setting the block. And then I'm going through and marking a bunch of stuff dirty. Right, I'm gonna try something. World in block accessor. Exchange block. No, I'm gonna want to set. Wait, what was set decor? Oh, okay, that's I don't care about that. What if, like, on specifically the client side, I do a set block for change block at new position? Oh, I gotta get, do this .id, right? To get the block ID. Let's forget about triggering any kind of update, and then we can mark it modified. Okay. There we go. It's burnt out again. You bastard. Alright, I'm gonna move on from this. This has been a pretty good problem. That's pretty good. I think I'm gonna have to research a little more how the game's lighting engine works. Or to see how people are triggering a redraw of something like a light source. But alright, everything else seems to be fine. I'm going through the logs here. Did we start up without any problems? You know, just because I got a lot in my logs, we're gonna reload. If this looks good, we'll move on to the next. So far, so good. No errors coming up here. Oh, there was some stuff. What was that? Could not find config for story structure. Mine 1, Mine 2, Crossroads, Mansion, Coal Mine, University, Forlorn Hope Dungeon, and Large Forlorn Hope Dungeon. Terrain will not be generated as it should. That's not my mod. So, alright. Sure. We'll go with that. Looking good. Rustbound Magic, it's there. I could send it out. It would be in the same state it's in now without the relighting working. I'm gonna get that relighting working. I just got a lot of other stuff to do. So let's open up the next project here. We'll go right through. Vice blocks. For all this stuff, it's gonna be pretty simple. I'm gonna rebuild. Comes back successful. I'm gonna increment this by 1. This is how I do it. Just do one more build here. Yep, that's good. We're gonna start the game in another test world. I'll just create a new one. You know what? I'm gonna use smithing test. And I'll delete smithing test after this. I just want to make sure nothing crashes here. Dummy spell effect, that's from the magic mod. That's the Void Vault stuff, I don't care about that. That was the extra inventory. Okay, so nothing with this mod. This mod came up fine. Ice blocks, yep. Can I put this on the wall? This is one of the most complex things in the mod. Yep, and it looks like my time and date and everything is fine. Sweet. That mod is done. Quit. Alright. We're gonna cake build it. Should take no time at all. Boop, done. Alright, next mod. Rust stones. I really should use this mod more. We're gonna have to increment it. I'm gonna rebuild the solution. Successful. Save. Pop in. Start. So quick, like a boss. You know it. Smithing test. Now it's gonna be upset because I placed that almanac. And now, see, Almanac's not happy, and it's still gonna carry over like the Riftbloom stuff. I'm not gonna save this world, so I'm not going to apply anything to redo things. There we go. There's your Almanac. For rust stones, I see no issues. Let's give one a try here. Let's do the admin warp stone. I want to engrave right here. There we go. Now if I'm over here, we're gonna activate it, and I should teleport back to here. Oop. Perfect. Right in the water. That mod is good to go. So again, make sure everything's fine. We're gonna cape build this. Bam. That mod is good to go. Next. So, Eldritch Monsters. So again, we're gonna build. Gonna close all tabs. Increment that by 1. Aha! Looks like we got some stuff to fix here. Interesting. This is actually one that I didn't, did I forget to push out an original update for this? I think I did. Huh. Alright, we got a little bit more to do here. Properties, we gotta move this to .NET 8. We're gonna save. Now I'm going to rebuild. Okay, so now we have just regular errors now and not huge errors. I need to remove that from the scope of the project. I don't need to rebuild right now. Now, what I need to do, this changed in 1.21. All the config stuff doesn't live in here. All of this stuff there, it's actually stuff that lives in here. This has to go away. And I got this, you know what? I got this all formatted already. Why don't we pull up the Mythic Legends mod? And let's pull up an AI task for, like, idle. And I'm going to copy this, because this is actually what I need now. I don't need the whole thing. Hold on. Partial copy. And paste. This is the new format. And I'm just going to go through all the AI tasks. Of course, I have to have a lot of them. Don't let all the red scare you. It's not that big of a deal. The mod is ruined! Ruined! I think this mod I do have the most AI tasks, though. I kind of went ham with these creatures. Gave them, like, special abilities and really wanted them to grow up into something. Not trying to stop your groove. Did you get a chance to look at the pic I sent for pot parent placement? I did not. I'll trust your judgment. Basically, Vexus, if you want to do anything to those models, like I'm not making any more changes, right? Like I'm got everything kind of woven in with the code. So, you know, you want to, like, you know, do the horns differently for, like, the females. You want to work on the crag hide or the fin, you know, do animations, or, you know, you want to add the pot stuff, or, you know, whatever, like, go for it. Although those wings probably should be, like, the textures for the wings and stuff probably should take care of it sooner, you know, higher priority on that. Because that's the first thing, like, people, you know, people are gonna notice those pixels. And I can help you try and take it apart. Maybe we could be 2 files. That way we can up the resolution on the wings, because I think that's probably what's gonna have to happen. Wing textures, the transparent bits. Well, I'm talking about the size of the pixels for those textures. Right? Here, while I wait for something, because I know there's a delay, I could be copying and pasting all this stuff in. Oh, okay, yeah, that's just failed attempt. Yep, and then we have the Wanderlust there. We have the detonate, and then we have the breaking down the doors, which is one of my personal favorites. Is suitable for is not something. Oh, it wants more information. Ooh. Okay, so I'm gonna get most of this. I'm gonna come back to that. Alright, so basically for all this stuff, I need to make sure ID name is in all of these. ID name, ID name. There we go. 7, 8, 9. All of this stuff. Scroll back to the top. ID name. There we go. I'm gonna have to register these a little differently as well. Yeah, I'll play around with it, see what I can do. Sweet. Had people asking me if they'll be able to bite or do any attacks. And I had to explain what you said before, that VS is limited on inputs. Yeah, right now the entity controller's not. I don't see a way. Maybe there is a way, and I just don't know it, to register more like inputs. That's just not there right now. It would be nice to have like special attacks and stuff, but you know, just can't really do that right now. Did see some other mods that allowed like using X and Z for inputs though. Not sure if something similar could be done with that. Well, you can always put in a hotkey for something, but that's gonna be a hotkey that always, like, for instance, I'll give you a for instance. Someone wants the X key to go down, right? Now, you can, if you have something in the entity controller that's already mapped to like a go down, when you're not writing on an entity, then that kind of stuff isn't called. If I just made a hotkey that says, okay, if you press X at all, it's going to try and go down, I'm gonna have to put a lot of stop logic in that, because every time you press down the X key, it's gonna trigger the hotkey, assuming you're on a mount trying to go down. That's a good way to get yourself in trouble, especially if you're mounted on another person's mount, right? From another mod or the elk. Now I have to put in even more restrictions that says, wait. make sure you're on this particular one, right? And it's a little different. You know, especially for like something like that. It's just easier to make it, you know what I mean? Like, make it something where you could just register it as like part of the entity controls. Because then it's all locked down already. If you're on this creature, you have the controls, and that's an input that I can directly manipulate for things. And if someone knows how to do that, let me know how to register more inputs into the entity controls. I'd love to know if there's a way. I'd love it. That's what I was trying to explain the best, but wasn't entirely sure you explain it best. Yeah, and you know, like the other way too with the hotkeys, like you could maybe get something. You know what I mean? Like it is a way, but it's not going to be a good way. It's going to be a way that is going to cause probably more heartache, and I'm not going to sit there and chase down every single crash because someone put, you know, Flippy Dippy's mod on, and it adds little clouds that you could fly on. Oh, but when I press X, it crashes the game. You know what I mean? Because it's an always-on hotkey. Looks like old Finkeldink's revolving things. you know, whatever. Absolutely. Maybe we can ask the Equus group if you want to. See, what you'll notice that I don't really reach out and ask for things because this is a fun project. I don't want to be told the solution. I want to try and find it. Like the relighting issue that Rustbound Magic has. That's kind of exciting for me because now I'm like, huh, how does the game lighting engine work? How do I redraw that kind of stuff? Has anyone had to really dig this far down? And not only that, I'm socially awkward, and you know, like unless someone's talking directly to me, I feel weird. You know what I mean? I feel weird being like, hi, I got this problem. Expecting everyone to like stop what they're doing, you know, like I don't want to bother anyone. You know what? That's probably a big problem of mine. I don't want to feel like I'm a bother. All right, let's kind of keep going here. We're gonna do a search and replace all files. All they changed was making this a capital. 50 occurrences, bam. Look at those errors drop. Just saw that number shift. Let's see how many. Yep, from what, 85 to like, well, it was over 85. That was just the next step down. It was way above that before. Now and then the other side of it is when not in emotional state. That's going to be a capital. Replace all, 24 occurrences there. Not bad. All right. So for the hollow stuff, we're going to skip that. Why isn't this... Oh, let's see. Do I want API? Or do I want game content? I think API is probably what I'm going to want there. Alright, and then load config. I can just copy all of this out and paste this all in. And we can just delete that. Bam. Idle is done. On entity aggro, same kind of thing. I'm gonna copy all of this. And we are gonna paste that in here, and of course get rid of that. And this goes away. That one is done. Seek entity. Pop that in here. Get rid of that. Base call. And get rid of that. Bam, that one's done. Detonate. Makes me sad when people hate the Ravagers so much. It's like a nod to Minecraft. I love creepers. It gives you a reason to fortify your base a little bit. You know, looking over your shoulder. It's too quiet. I haven't been blown up in a while. It's coming. I can feel it. I can feel the malice in the air. It's a strong hint of murder. This is the night. Bam. Oh, I'm missing some of the chat here. I'm getting hung up. You and me both. That's why we do well. That's what I worry about for so long about Mythic Legends with you. I was like, I don't want to bother. Yeah. See, but that's the thing, right? Like, from this side, I'm like, no, it wouldn't be a bother, right? It's just an exchange of ideas, and you know. But it's like, it's hard when it's like, you know, when you're perceiving it from, like, you know, the other side, right? Copy, paste, get rid of this. Copy. Although I will say, I am really looking forward to seeing what you could do to make a magic wyvern. Like, what? I don't even know. Where do you start? Like, how do you make an like? I don't even know. I don't even know. Bam. We are just about... Okay, so suitable for, right? I can't really do anything with that yet. Animal nest. Ooh. Looks like there may be some extra stuff here. Is suitable for entity with a string. So I'm gonna come back and revisit these because I need to see the iAnimal nest looks like it has changed, which is a good thing. But I'm not gonna import these yet. This is most of the way done, but I will come back because I want to figure it out because I can. There's a lot of neat things that I can do. Well, let's cut that out. Paste that in. Get rid of that. There we go. So now all I'm left with are the point of interest stuff. So that's looking pretty good. So next project. That one's done. That one's done. I don't know why I still have that. Oh, that's from a long time ago. The GitHub that never worked. ViesCraft machines. Get into the big stuff. Rebuild. Glad you don't find it bothersome. Yeah, keep those creepers away. Always had cats around your base. I never had a cat. The cat would piss me off. The first time I got a cat, it went right to my chest, like near my bed, and it sat on my chest, and I couldn't open my chest, and I'm like, I'm gonna kill this fucker. I got my iron armor in there. What are you doing? What are you doing? This cat's looking to throw down some beef. What did I do to you? I saved you. I fed you fish, and this is how you repay me? Thought you were the chosen one. Yeah, I don't find it bothersome at all. Experimenting, really? I mean, you remember what the Ridgeback looked like before? Yes. Yes? Maybe. Oh my god. I don't know. Maybe. I think so. I think so. I think I remember. We revisited it and gave it a makeover. Yeah, we still got to do the wyvern eggies and nests. And nests we could do. Well, see, the nest thing, that one, that's why I just skipped the Eldritch Monster stuff. I would have to figure out what changed in the point of interest stuff. And then the eggs, we need to talk about how things are gonna look. Is it worth having an egg entity? Like right? Should it be an egg that you can't really pick up because it's not gonna be an item? Or should it be like a live birth thing? You know, like what does that look like? Man, I'm not sure. It felt good, honestly. It felt good having, like, when the offspring, when my testing, seeing the oh, what am I saying? Seeing like the mom and the dad, right? I had to breed a couple of times to make sure that it correctly picked either the mom's skin or the dad's skin. But seeing like the little babies, you know, popping out, I was like, oh. I sent that. I think I sent you that picture, right? Where it's like I had the black female and the red male, and it was like a little baby of each. It was awesome. Let's hop in. I incremented that. Let's make sure Vice machines work. Smithing test. How fitting. Yeah, I should get your machines on the server. I like the machines quite a bit. It's definitely nice. We're gonna close that out. All right, let's spawn a machine. Speaking of, oh, right in water. Oh. Let's get a key. Hey, I need a bunch of stuff here. I just want to make sure I can like fly around. There we go. Gotta put that in. We'll let it charge up a little bit. Oh, I gotta put a module back here. Let's give it just a small battery and basic temporal. There we go. Pop the battery in. Looking good. I wanted to make a swappable license plate. That way you could like put whatever license plate you want. You should go look. It was very different. I know you could pick up chicken eggs without the nest. Yeah, but you need to know this though. I need a way to save the attributes. Because if I can't find a reliable way to do that, and it's hard going from an entity to an item, and then what, you're going to spawn an entity when you place that item back down, you are running a lot of risk that the attribute tags that you originally put on stay. Unless you want your pets to be 000 for their, all three of their stats, which would kind of stink. Right, so that there's that whole like side of trying to like preserve the data. See, with the live birth stuff, right? Like I preserve it because I'm creating the entity right there, and it's entity to entity. So I'm not doing anything like too special with the watched attributes. Let me check on FS Wilds because I think the ostrich eggs have these kind of attributes. You guys had like power and strength and health and stuff. It's been a while since I played with the mod. Let's get this out of the water. Alright, this is looking good. We got the slight wobbling here. I could pop the key out. We can land. Sweet. That's looking mighty fine. Never mind, we don't have the attributes, so that wouldn't apply. Yeah, And that's the thing, right? Like I can make an item, you know, make an item, give it a shape like an egg, but that doesn't mean that it's preserving the data, you know. Like it's there's a problem too going from like block like an item to like a block or block entity. I originally wanted to make it to where each time you plant a Riftbloom seed, it would add like an age counter, and then that seed would be like, that plant would be like aged out, you know, to where like it wouldn't produce a seed after, you know, 10 plants or so. But I could never get it to actually convert the watched attribute from the item to the block entity and like pass it correctly. It always got either partially dropped or fully dropped. And when I say partially, it like kind of wrote some stuff on like the client, but the server never got the picture. So it was like really unreliable. So that's why I'm like, well, okay, let's think about what these eggs are actually gonna do. If it's an entity that's always out, how are you gonna move the egg? You know, it's like you can't really pick it up. You know, it's an entity. It's gonna have its own collision. It's gonna have its own health. It's gonna have to be like pretty much just sitting there. So I don't know what something like that looks like. Although I do like the idea of having like, you know, sure, like it's an egg, and then the egg hatches to, you know, a hatchling, like a hatchling comes out of it. But really, like, it would have to be like a dynamic thing for that egg. And I don't know how to do that. You know, I don't know a good way to do that. And you run the risk, if it's just an item that falls to the ground, you run the risk of after, what, 5 minutes on a regular server, or 10 minutes, whatever the default is, items that are quote-unquote dropped get erased. So that would kind of suck. Where'd all my babies go? I know this thing was pregnant. Well, your egg is gone. The server wiped it out for you. It's an interesting one. It's interesting. That's why I had referred to the dummies base game, because it's technically an entity and you can pick it up. See, that's the problem though, right? Like, I can write, but all pickup code is make the entity you're targeting die and then spawn a new item. You know, that's like the quote-unquote item form, right? So for that entity there, that dummy, you kill off that entity completely, and then it gives you an item that when you, it's pretty much a creative, creative item. That's what it does. It doesn't capture any other data. And then when you right-click, it spawns the generic creature. So yeah, that's how any of that stuff works. Like with a raft, it kills the raft entity. It is a non-living thing, but it sets it to die, and it triggers the should remove, and it completely gets rid of it. Right? And then you get whatever the item form is that has the code embedded in it to then spawn it on right click. You know, spawn whatever that item's supposed to be. But, you know, when you have to save like tag information, like for the egg, we have four values. All right, we're gonna have the max health, the stamina, and then the movement speed, and those are 3 floats. And with a 4th one is what skin it's gonna have, right? Is it gonna inherit the appearance of the mom or the dad? Looks like I had the magic mod in this before. let me do a reload. I'd be upset. Yeah, I'd be upset if I lost an egg too. Oh, really? Oh, that's crazy. I had no idea. Damn. Yeah. Because I had looked at stuff like that originally, right? The first thing I look at is like, okay, what's the game doing, right? How's the game handling it? And maybe with like having it be an item, there's a chance that I could possibly, it could work writing, you know, going from a watched attribute on the custom, you know, stuff to having the, you know, having it drop an item like the egg. But that's the problem, right? It's like that item can get removed, you know, so it's like, okay, is it just going to be an entity egg that drops then you can go up to it with something and like on right click kind of pick it up, which would destroy that egg, and maybe in the process I can convert the watched attribute tags to attribute tags specific to that item stack, and then it's going to have to be an item stack of 1. And then what do you do with the egg, right? Because I would also have to preserve however long it had till it hatched, right? So I'd have to make sure that data passed through too. That way when you don't keep resetting it every time you pick it up. And then what's the egg part doing? You know, like is it just like a lore thing? Is it something that you're gonna only touch, you know, briefly? And then you got like the babies, like are you expected to put it in like an incubator? You know, are you expected to have certain warmth? Like what's going to happen in winter if there's an egg? Like do I have to account for temperature damaging the egg, and it's got to be near like a torch or a certain, you know what I mean? Like how does all that stuff work out? And then what's the payout going to be? You know? At least these guys don't care about temperature. Yeah, see, for chickens, there's an item, right? There's like the nest, and then the egg kind of gets put, quote-unquote, into the inventory. I don't even remember if it's a real inventory. I think it's more like a torch holder where it just removes the item from your hand. Doesn't store it, it just changes that block to one with, like, eggs. Right? So, like... See, you see things like this, right? Through 3 eggs and stuff. Is there a way? Is it called nest? What is the... So I think it's a combination of this. We could look at the code, but pretty sure this doesn't have an inventory. Wow, I didn't know you could stack it like that. Right, and then it just takes like one of these, right? So you put like 1 egg in, and it's that one. You put 2, and then it renders this one. It's not that it's holding 2 in the inventory. That's just for the appearance, right? And then 3. And I don't think I could put these back in. This chicken's got to deposit it. Right, hen box. Let's take a look at the hen box. I may not need to dig that far. All right, so item types. Assets, item types. Is this Vintage Story? Yes, this is. Okay. Of course, there's nothing called Henbox. It's probably called something dumb. Block types. Henbox. Yeah, see? So this is what it is, right? You have the basic hen box, and then there's an empty block, and then egg 1, 2, and 3 blocks. So it just does a block state change. It doesn't actually hold the inventory. Which, you know, kind of sucks. A little bit. Although if you look at this, it looks like it does have actual item slots now. So, who knows, it may do a combination of actually doing, like, the egg count. Maybe this variant is only for the visuals now. Assuming that this is something, you know, like, the actual, like, you know, quantity of slots here refers to an inventory. Because it's an attribute, and I don't see a behavior, I'm kind of questioning it. Like, what's in Henbox? Oh, let's see here. I don't think wyverns... I don't think the wyverns, like eggs, by the way. I don't know if they do. Oh, that's the item. Let's see. Let's look at the tamed wyverns. Oh, wait. This is still the... Is this the item type? No, it's over here. Okay. I'll get off soon. Okay. So it looks like my time has come. I'm gonna look at this last thing, then we'll find someone to raid. It's probably because of the fruit, or the food category. I'm not sure where... I'm not sure why I put eggs in there. I think it was just like a copy and paste. I don't know. Do wolves like eggs? I don't know. I tossed some eggs and it was saying it's soil. No idea. I tell you, vegetable and protein. They like carrots. I feed them all my stuffed carrots usually. Very healthy. But yeah, anything tagged vegetable or protein. If that's not egg, if egg has another tagging, maybe that could be it. Not sure. One of the things I wish in VS would change would let us put eggs into the nest because it doesn't make sense we can't. Yeah. In the item slot, it's like a one-way street. Are wyverns able to eat meat out of troughs? Yeah, if you patch for it, they should be able to. They like bones. I mean, they should be able to. They eat meat off the ground. They should be able to eat it out of a trough. Or trough. Let's see. Any of you guys want some eggs? Man, that's cold. They've been starving so long that there's no rot in here anymore. You're youngin'. And look at those eggs. Those are the smallest eggs. Are you kidding me? Maybe because you're only supposed to get this. Maybe this is the kind. Here you go. That is so tiny. Any of you're just gonna stomp on it? There you go. Well, it looks like they don't like eggs. They don't like eggs. But throw a piece of meat, I bet they'll like it. There you go. Want some bush meat? Although, will they want bush meat? I don't know. Is it just red meat? I feel weird giving them bush meat. Don't eat it! That could be you! You guys drop bush meat! that little pixel right there, that's the egg. Right there. I use bush meat, red meat, and fish. Meat is meat, I guess. Yeah, I guess so. Just feels weird. I feel like I'm not doing right by the creatures. That little pixel egg doesn't look appealing. You guys got to be starving. If the little ones too, like, so if you're breeding these, if you don't feed the little ones enough as they grow, they'll grow up into the wild version, and they'll just like fly out of the nest and probably aggro you. Fine, I'll take it back. I feel bad. Here you go. Throw a couple. There you go. You're welcome. Yeah, I've had them grow up to be wild. Rondo was very sad. Yeah, 3 wyvern fails. Yeah, you gotta feed them. Gotta feed them. Gotta keep up with them. They gotta know who mommy and daddy are. All right, let's yeah, oh, here we go. Rentanaru. we are going to raid Rentanaru. Oh, if I can type it correctly. There we go. Raid created. Alright everyone, thank you so much for watching. You had to go on the hunt for them. Well, the good news is once you get a couple, you can start trying to breed them up. Alright, that's at least the good news. Thank you everyone for watching. Made some progress. Most of the stuff is in, right? I'll probably step back for the Eldritch Monsters mod and figure out the new nesting stuff that's happening. It's probably something simple, like I saw string array. It may be an empty string array for all I know, right? Like I'm not sure what that needs, like why it needs to be there. May just be an empty array, who knows? Could be part of the entity tagging system too. But yeah, that and later tonight I'll probably work on the lighting as well. I'll get that stuff sorted, and later today expect updates for all of my mods, working with 1.21.1. Thank you everyone, have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye. Adios, see you later. Bye.